Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the return of Roleplay The West Marches. I'm super excited to be back. Yeah, damn right.
Hello.
God, it's been forever since we've played last. There's some new stuff in the West Marches that I wanted to go over. Oops, I have my cell phone in the background. Stop, Steven. Good. Now we're ready. So like really quickly, why don't you each just like introduce yourselves really quickly, and then we'll jump right into figuring out our characters' level ups, and we'll talk about the new rules, and then we'll get straight into. I think one of you has a pretty awesome quest that they are bringing to the table, so let's figure that out.
Cool.
Trump, why
One
don't
of us.
you
Wow.
why don't you introduce yourself really quick, Trump?
Sure. I am Donald Bartholomew. I am a noble, and I am here to lead our party to a great adventure yet again, and to make sure our name is spread far and wide. I've come adventuring in order to know what the life is like, as I consider it very important.
So you're just
Let's
adventuring to
see.
gain life
I have
experience.
recently leveled up to 3 as well off the screens by taking advantage of this Monument of Heroes thing.
Yeah.
Kind of working on it now.
Donald Bartholomew, level 3, noble. Okay. What do you look like, Donald?
Better to show instead of tell. I think there's an awesome art of me over at the Roleplay wiki. Let me go over there. But I am dressed in what you would expect to be a noble in blues, and I hold myself to a distinguished posture.
Excellent. Excellent.
What race are you?
I'm a human.
Oh, okay.
How old are you? How
Uh,
old do you look?
I look middle age slash young.
Okay, so like 30s or so?
High 20s, low 30s, yeah.
Sure. Cool. Kaitlyn, who are you playing today?
I am playing Frecky, a half human, half tiefling, half cat. Doesn't matter the order that you say it in, as long as all the halves are there. I am
all three
a-
halves.
All three halves, every single one. I am a devious but playful warlock. I'm not sure if my goals are
We'll
that
go over those in a
defined.
little bit.
Okay.
So, keep brainstorming. Don't
I'm
need
here
to
with
think of them right
I'm
now.
here with the party to follow Donald's gorgeous blue cape.
Yes.
Catches my eye quite often. And I have a kind of hardened face. I have, like kind of chiseled but still young features. You can't really tell what gender I am. I have some purple marks, lines on my face, kind of like a tiger. And I have a purple bear mark on my face, which is
Yeah.
just left over from that charity stream, honestly. That was just the person who donated the most. They got their mark on my face.
Yep.
And I also wear a black cloak with very pointed shoulders. And you can see my cat tail poking out of the end of one of my pant legs.
Okay. Cattail poking out of pants. Excellent.
Yes, one of my pant legs is like a bit shorter
So-
than the other.
So you tuck.
Yeah.
Always.
When you're that size, it becomes important. Zeke, tell us about your character.
Yo, I'm going to be playing a Kellen Wildlight, which has the honor of being, I think, the first 4th level character in the West Marches.
Yep.
Just turned 4th level last time. It's been months since I picked this guy up. He is a ranger. Just the tender age of 18 years old, but he's lived a lot of life apparently since he left his home in the woods. His mother is a druid and left earlier, like 3 years ago. His father went to go look for her, and now he's on his way to find them. He is he's not very tall. He's 5'5", so
Okay. Sure.
not a big guy. He's wearing studded leather armor. He's got a really cool bow on his back, really ornate.
Tell us what the bow looks like.
It's the bow has like now hold on. You didn't give me a description, so I'm describing it, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. The bow has it looks like it's made of leaves and vines, and it's all curved around, and you can see like little creatures like inside of, like peeking out from behind like the vines and stuff.
Super cool.
With their eyes and their like claws coming out of it and stuff like that. But studded leather armor, shoulder length, scruffy dark brown hair. Not very. It doesn't look very city wise. I guess
He looks like someone who lives
in the
rough.
woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows how to fend for himself if need be.
Very cool.
Out in
Great.
the wilderness.
And Shannon, who are you playing today?
I'm Bardrick Bardison, and I know that everybody always thinks that's boy, but it's not. It's a girl. Story with that. So she's a halfling, and she's a bard. She probably stands at about, I think like the average for girls is like 3'6" or something like that. So she's about 3'5", 3'6", something in there. She has choppy short red hair, a little bit of freckles, kind of like chubby face, even though she's petite. She's not like, she looks like a halfling basically. Like there's no amount of muscle that you can really notice there. But she's a little spitfire, so watch out.
Awesome.
And she spits fire.
She does.
Fire.
What color is her hair?
Red.
Excellent. Cool. Okay, so before we get started, I want to tell you all about the 2 new rules that we're going to be working with. So in the past, there was a thing where you would set a goal for your group, and then if you achieved it, you'd all earn extra experience points. I think there were a couple of other things that might give you experience points, like marking things on the map and stuff. So we've simplified that out. So just to remind you of the rules that we're using for the West Marches. So we've got this new inspiration rule, and that's been working so well that it's now an official rule of the West Marches. This is how you gain inspiration, which means that our final death saving throw, our cushion, our buffer death saving throw is gone. So now, once during each long rest, any character in the party can frame a scene that shows the audience more about them. The scene can involve other players or NPCs. It can happen like right now at the campfire, or it can be a flashback. And the character who frames the scene gains inspiration. And of course, inspiration is a thing you can spend to gain advantage on any one roll of your choice. At any point during that scene that you're talking about, other players can ask your character's player, can ask you, the player, questions about the scene. So this is kind of a metagamey thing, right? It's for us to get more information that maybe the characters don't even necessarily know. So you, as the person who's framing the scene, can choose to give inspiration to one other player, someone who asked a question of you. So just to remind ourselves of that. And then the other 2 rules that I'm introducing today is that each character now has the ability to create for themselves a major quest. Hi, Kiska. Wait, each character can create for themselves a major quest, and they can each choose an adventuring motivation. So everybody should have an adventuring motivation because it's great. So the question is, why are you adventuring? You should choose a motivation from the list that's here on the screen. Yes, I've moved you over. The list includes personal glory, to protect the weak, to accrue riches, to uncover secrets, establish order, internalize the wilds, repay a debt, or redeem a failure. Or you can tell me, hey, Steven, I think this would be a cool one for my character, and I'll just be like, great, let's do it. At the end of each session, if you did something that clearly supports your motivation, tell the group. If everybody agrees, then you gain experience points. And then the big new mechanic is major quests. So when you know of something in the marshes that few others know of, and it inflames your passions, write yourself a major quest and tell me. That's an important part. If your party is not currently pursuing a major quest, then you can reveal yours. You need to tell the group why you care and ask your allies for aid. If they agree to help you, everybody immediately gains experience points. If your group completes the major quest of anybody in the group, everybody in the group immediately gains experience points. So This is now a new big way for our groups to gain XP. So with that in mind, let's go in that same order, starting with Trump. Do you have an adventuring motivation? Oh, I think you're muted, Mr. Trump.
Thank you. As someone who comes from a noble family, I really want to know how this adventuring thing works. However, I'm not interested in silly adventures such as slaying some low-level goblins. I am out to gain some major glory, to perform something amazing, to go after a major goal. So
Cool.
my goal would therefore, my personal motivation would be closest to personal glory then. Or
Personal glory.
let's see, I wrote something slightly better. It's kind of more of to leading the team to greatness.
Okay. Which one do you feel is more Bartholomew? Donald Bartholomew-esque?
It'd be accomplishing something great with the team.
So, yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that feels like personal glory.
Right, okay.
Like the greatness is more important to you than the teamness. Okay. Cool. So yeah, at the end of the session, I'll ask you if you did something that was like personally glorifying, and if you did, then you'll gain experience. Frecky, do you have a adventuring motivation? I see you wrote something to me. Let me read it really quick.
Yeah, I Skyped you my real motivation.
Yeah.
But I don't think I want to.
I see plans.
So personal
within
glory for
plans.
Frecky also.
Yeah, keep thinking about that. I'm going to message you a thing, and then we'll go on to Zeke and see what he has to say.
Are we? Right. You want me to go right now?
Go for it. Yeah. Do you think you have a strong adventuring motivation?
Yes, absolutely. My motivation is to prove myself worthy to join my parents in the fight of whatever they are fighting. Because the last time I tried to join up, the last, first, and only time I tried to contact them and got in contact with them, my father found me wanting. Let's just say.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for some sort of trigger that tells me that I am ready to go out and meet up with them and fight alongside them. The whatever called my mother's druid order away and whatever kept my father away.
Yeah. So that's like, do you think that's personal glory, or is there a different one that's proving your worth, which is not personal glory?
You know, there's that old saying that there's no truly selfless act.
Yeah.
It's like, I would like to say like I'm doing it for the greater good, but yeah, I would say probably for personal glory and to, get the approval of,
You're proving your worth through personal glory, right?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Personal glory. Great.
Yep.
Because like you could also prove your worth by establishing order or by uncovering secrets or whatever, but it feels like what Kellen wants to do is prove that he is like a badass fighter who deserves to fight alongside his dad.
That he is a man.
Yes. It's very important to Kellen. Okay, let me read what Kaitlyn said. Yeah, so this should be the sort of thing that you might have the opportunity to do every session, where it's like, okay, I did this thing and it's related to my adventuring motivation. Yeah. So choose. We've talked about two now, Kaitlyn, and both of them are pretty good for you. So pick whichever one you want and then send it to me. And Bardrick, do you have an adventuring motivation?
I do. So mine is something that's kind of continuing on from the last experiences Bardrick has had in West Marches, plus the originating one that she had at the very beginning. So she still is looking for approval from her father. She, there's a story. I think we can go over that again later on. But basically, she doesn't feel any love or approval or respect from him. So in her eyes, that's like paramount. But also along the way in her adventures, she's lost a very close friend of hers. And she's looking for a way to bring that person back from death, if that's possible. So in a way that's kind of repaying a debt.
Mm.
And also she's trying to redeem a personal failure that like she needs to see, like, approval from her father. So it's kind
Yeah.
of both, if that
So
works.
to me, it feels like the reason you're adventuring at the fundamental level at all is because you're redeeming a failure in the eyes of your father.
Yeah.
So that's your motivation. But the other thing you said, that's a major quest. So we'll talk about that very soon.
Okay.
So let's see, redeeming a failure.
And there's kind of like this sort of very thin layer of personal glory over all of that, but that's kind of
Oh,
just
yeah.
surface. That's not really, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So I'll just say my quest.
Go ahead.
So my quest is very simple.
Yes.
Frecky likes shiny things, and
Okay.
he wants to accrue riches, and that's
Awesome.
all. And there's nothing more to it.
Great. So yeah, we've got 4 awesome characters here. So if Donald can do something that brings glory to himself, he will get experience points at the end of this session. If Frecky can demonstrate that they have gained more riches, like a significant amount of more riches this time, then they will gain experience points for that. If Kellen does something that proves how great he is, he'll get experience points. And Bardrick, if you do something that in somehow ties back to redeeming your failure in the eyes of your father, you'll get experience points for that. So be on the lookout for those opportunities and how you think like you could tie these things in, and use your inspiration scenes, to sort of support these objectives, of course. But Bardrick, you have a major quest that you wanted to encourage the players to go on. Do you want to tell us what it is?
Am I telling people in character, or is this
Yeah,
just
this
still
is
setting up?
how, the West Marches or Virascali is a place where just a bunch of random people congregate in order to go out into the wilds and try to make something better for themselves. And as a result, there's no particular reason for the 4 of you to be working together other than the fact that you have brought them together and you want to go achieve this thing. So,
Well, I mean, Kellen's always, my posse. So, where exactly are we? Are we in the tavern?
yeah.
Frelka's Tavern?
Frelka's
Cool.
Tavern. Frelka's there polishing the countertop morosely. There's actually a little divot in it now where he's just been polishing that one spot over the years.
That's so sad.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm sitting at a table, probably with Kellen. I don't know if he's there or not. And I've got some parchment. I'm just scribbling down some lines, but my mind is kind of drifting. I've got this look of being really distant right now. I don't seem like I'm super happy with where I'm at. So, yeah. And are you there? Any of Trump or?
I think it's easiest to just assume that you're all together. You gathered a couple of people because you had an idea and you wanted to see if
Right.
they'd be interested.
I'm
I'm just circling the table.
Has Frecky have you met any of this other party, like Trump's character, Donald or Bardrick? Have you
I've
adventured with them?
quested with Donald.
Okay. So
Okay.
Kellen is meeting both of you for the first time.
And
Yes.
Bardrick.
Oh, and
Do you
Bardrick
guys-
too, I guess. Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of the most wonderful half-orc that has ever graced the West Marches? She was awesome. She was always upbeat. She just loved killing things, but in the right way. And she died the most horrible death. I don't know if you guys ever had the honor of traveling with her, but her name was Juliet, and she was just something else. And
That's funny because I traveled with her and all she did was knit the whole time.
knit.
That's right.
What was she knitting?
Clothes for her child.
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah, so this is basically how it goes. She got impregnated by this crazy hag witch. Did you have you guys met Hextia? Do you know Hextia?
I have. She's a very nice lady, and I have to correct you. I believe that Kurthak is the best half-orc that I know. I adventured with him once. He talked a little bit about
I could agree with that.
this
A little
one.
bit. Kurthak's solid. So this is actually kind of for him too. I don't know if you guys have been hearing the rumors going around the city, but basically, Kurthak has lost his shit, okay? His marbles have gone out the window. He thinks that Juliet's still kicking about. Like, he thinks that she's just right around the corner, ready to pop out the baby. He bought a friggin' house, all right? Like, he's setting everything up, this nest egg for her, but she's dead. Like, I wasn't there, but I know she's dead. Kellen, you saw it, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. I definitely saw, and I definitely remember everything that you're talking about. It's yeah. Please continue. I'm sorry. Yes, I agree. Yes.
I just haven't been able to get it out of my head. It breaks my heart to see my buddies just walking around like zombies, not knowing that she's coming back, and people just everyone's got a part of their heart that's missing. Like maybe she only knit around you, Frecky, but she's a party girl. She knows how to rock it. She likes adventuring. She doesn't live for anything else.
I thought she was dead.
She is, but I don't think that that's got to be permanent. Really, I don't. That Hextia, whatever, you know, being Donald's solid with her, but she's been able to do crazy things. I know. If we went and saw her and convinced her, I'm sure she could help us and bring Juliet back. I just don't think that the West Marches, that everything is going to ever be the way it was until she's back, until she's alive again. Do you guys want to like go see?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't want to seem like I am holier than thou, but being dead is the nature of things. We live, we die. To bring something back from the dead, I'm not sure that's it goes against
true.
nature. I mean,
There are plenty of beings that are dead and still alive.
right, and
Good
we
point.
kill those things, don't we?
Not
I just
always.
smile at him.
I have.
Not always. There's that head in the bag. That's still like, you know, remember the creepy little dwarf head thing? That's not evil. That's good, right? There's that.
No, I wrote that off as just being insane. That's, I mean,
well,
clearly, do you think someone like that could truly work out some way to resurrect somebody? I don't see it happening. Whereas you have the motivation and the intelligence to possibly bring something like this about. I didn't even take that as a true. That's something that could ever happen. Have you seen that dwarf?
Yeah.
There's a voice from over by the bar. You're looking for a way to bring someone back to life.
Yes. I turn around and I jump up.
Yeah, Frelka crosses his arms. He says, I don't trust it. That Dragonborn isn't welcome in my bar anymore. Things what's dead, they should stay dead.
See, even he agrees with me.
I interject and I jump between Felka and Bardrick. And I say, Bardrick, I think that your cause is very noble. And I only hope that when I die, someone will bring me back and make me even more powerful.
I mean, I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with this. I mean, like we hear about it all the time in like folklore and stories and even some people pray to gods that have resurrected themselves. And I mean, like,
well,
it all seems like part of things. Maybe it's not part of nature, but maybe it's part of people who are special.
If I may interject, God's bringing people back is one thing. That's who are we to decide what the gods should do? And the other people, the mortals who bring people back from the dead, there's a name for them, and it's necromancer. So
Not always. There's
Bardrick, okay. Let me.
can't believe you wouldn't back me up.
No,
on
no.
this,
Listen,
Kellen.
that's what I was getting. I was
always
getting to
fucking
that.
there
If
for
I-
you, bro. Like, I
listen,
even helped
okay.
you pick out the proper wardrobe, you know, so you could please your missus. And because you were looking like a powdered prince, I helped you with that. I don't know how many times I've saved your life. Like, you could have been dead. You could have been dead, and I would still be here trying to raise you from the dead. It wouldn't matter. I would never give up on you. And you're giving up on Julia, and you're giving up on me.
Well, you didn't let me finish.
Frelka says, "Damn, that's cold."
Now, Froka, I'm sure you wouldn't want to kick well-meaning adventurers from your tavern, would you? This is, after all, infamous for the best gathering.
Yeah, no, of course.
Bardrick,
I'm,
Yeah?
could we also bring her baby back?
I don't know, man. That baby was like half god or something crazy. It was a god baby. That was
But you want to save everyone. Let's bring the baby back too. And then I say baby back a million more times.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. You know, it was Juliet's baby. Her and Kurthak were gonna go like make nest. I'm cool. Yeah.
Juliet's baby, though, was put into her by a witch who
Technically
is
by
at
a
best
god.
questionable motives.
That's true.
Now, what I was gonna say before, though, Bardrick, was yes, I remember. Of course, I remember. That's why random people started calling me Kellen the Undying because of the stories you would tell about it.
That's right.
Now, with that said, I want to follow you. I will help you. I want to help you. You're my friend, and I want to help you. But if you, I would really appreciate just a day to think and maybe talk to some people about it.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I want to help you, and I'm looking for a way that I can do that without compromising what I believe is the natural order of things. Do you understand that?
To step out of the scene very quickly and talk mechanically about the major quest, you don't actually currently even know if it's possible. You've heard rumors about resurrections. People
Right.
talk about Shialbaz as possibly being resurrected. Who knows, right? That stuff is weird. So there's an easy sort of first step, right? Which is it even possible? And if it is possible, what does it take? Knowing that might help the party here make a bigger decision about whether or not it's something they actually want to go on.
Okay. I'm still all for it. If you need a day, Kellen, I totally respect that.
Well,
I
Steve,
just
my
need to know that you got my back no matter what.
I do. You never doubt that, but I just think that
Don't
voicing
leave
my
me hanging.
opinion is okay.
Don't leave me hanging. I need you. I need you.
Now, I have never adventured with you two fine folk, but I did spend several days appreciating and admiring your statue, Kellen. So I can understand that wherever you go is a prime time for adventure. And I've never heard of these awesome things such as resurrections, but if such a thing were possible, I would certainly want to be a part of it. That said, though, do you even have the faintest idea of how to start? Or shall I propose the reason why I'm at this tavern today, which is to find a legendary staff. Have you heard of that?
Does it raise people from the dead?
It might. It is a legendary artifact weapon, after all.
What have you heard about it?
I've heard that it is a spear. It is possibly difficult to raise people from the dead with a spear. However, it is our best lead.
Have I heard of this? Is there a way that I've heard of this?
It is
I don't
one of
know.
the common rumors, so you probably...
Oh, is it? Okay, okay.
I mean,
You're talking about the Spear of Reverent Wounding.
The Spear of Reverent Wounding for a resurrection, yes.
do we know it's called that?
Yeah.
Reverent wounding. I mean,
Yeah, well, you've all heard that there's a guy named Etchef Nero in Azamrath, the Pits of Creation. He claims to know the location of an artifact weapon called the Spear of Reverent Wounding. He wants it for himself, but it's there.
if it reverses the wounding process, I'm for it.
It is named Reverent Wounding, so the reverence of it may reverse the wounding. Have you thought of it that way?
Huh.
That's some good. That's
not a
some
bad
good
idea.
lawyering. I like it.
Bardrick's not entirely intelligent either, so she would probably believe it. That sounds cool. I mean, what if it does? What if it does reverse? That could work. That could work. We need more information.
Yeah.
Keep a very stoic face, even though I'm cracking up right now.
So Steven, I have like packed summon a buddy now.
Summon a buddy?
Yeah, I think like packed the chain.
Yeah, so you can summon a familiar.
Do any of my buddies speak a language that I speak?
So let me see from the Find Familiar spell. So just to clarify the quest mechanic here, if you go in pursuit of one of the common rumors, that's not a major quest because it's something that lots of people know. But if you go in pursuit of something that you've sort of defined for yourselves, it is a major quest. So you should kind of figure out which one of these you want to pursue. And if you go with Shannon's, you'll all get XP. Just saying. Find familiar.
Oh,
And maybe Dodger's PC comes back?
And maybe Dodger's PC comes back. It can communicate with you telepathically. You're familiar.
So would I know if there's one I could summon that would tell me about the staff?
Oh, I think your familiars don't have that kind of specific knowledge.
So they have no memory?
It's not that they have no memory, but that knowing information about magical artifacts is kind of beyond the purview of a familiar you can summon. You would need to cast a higher level sort of communing spell in order to find information about that.
Can I have an imp out now? Or
Yeah.
begin casting it?
So let's see. Looks like Imp is not available, but take a look at that spell I just sent you and read it over. So, Bardrick, what would you like to achieve with like the first step in this quest?
I think that the first logical step is to, I guess, find a lead that will actually get me to the point where I can. So whether that's going to Hexia's little hut and getting her to say she'll agree to do it, but on whatever conditions she has, that for me would be the first achievement. Like just
Okay.
getting an agreement that I'm on the solid path to doing so.
So, like, how can we say that in a way that we can definitely tell at the end of a couple sessions whether or not you've achieved it? You want to find out if it's possible to resurrect somebody? You want to find out the process required to resurrect someone?
Find out if it's possible, but maybe take that a step further and just say, like, get someone to commit to doing it.
Okay.
Even if that means I still have a long way to go in order to, like, fulfill that. But just get someone to commit to agreeing to it. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be possible either.
Yeah.
they could
True.
commit to it.
You could just go to someone in the
Might
town
not be.
square. Okay.
Remind me, how far away is Hestia's hut?
It's like 4 hours northeast, something like that. GM chat is blowing up, Kaitlyn, because you can get an imp because you're a warlock.
I didn't think the handbook lied to me.
I know. It's amazing. Amazing how that works out.
That's a nice
Okay.
buddy.
So you all wanted to take a day to like relax and think about it and feel out whether or not you were all comfortable with pursuing this quest. Is that true, Zeke?
Yes. I wanted to. Well, I put something in the Skype chat that I wanted
Right,
to ask
yeah,
you about,
yeah, okay.
and that's who I want to go like talk to.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll do that, and then we'll come back to Frelka's Tavern tomorrow, and we'll figure out where we stand regarding the quest. So before we go and we see another scene, really quickly, let's take care of downtime. So I know that Kaitlyn and Trump, you both spent your downtime at the Monument of Heroes, right?
Yes.
So each of you leveled up just before this session from level 2 to level 3, and now both of you have 900 experience points. Super awesome.
Thank you,
Shannon,
Kellen.
Yes.
Bardrick, what did you do with your downtime? I'll bring you over to the downtime activities page. Nope, there.
Oh, right. This thingy.
Yeah.
I remember last time I think I paid for something to get upgraded. Let me just see.
Seems reasonable.
What kind of person builds a statue after their own image, anyways?
Kellen, what did you spend your downtime doing?
I don't know. Let's see here.
Monument of Heroes. Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah, that's the level up one.
Well, I guess I might just spend it studying
Okay.
because I don't think I have any gold. I'm not sure if it was all split last time and if I didn't get any of the split or not. Or maybe I spent it. I don't think I did, though. I think I spent it at the beginning of the round last time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So understand studying of Veriscali library and spend your downtime action to choose one of the following options. So you can gain a free study die and spend that die anytime in the next adventure on any intelligence, wisdom, or charisma check. After the GM tells you if your roll was successful. Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, you're going to gain the free one?
Yes.
Cool. So you spend some time studying with Waltham Werner in the Veriscali library. And Zeke, which one were you doing?
If I had to choose one, it'd probably be like the fitness.
Okay.
The fitness one. But obviously, like, I would spend as much time as I could with Elith, unless she turned me away, or she left, or we broke up, or we got married, or whatever.
No. That's fine. So you can definitely have been seeing her in the downtime. But as far as preparing for your next adventure, you were doing some fitness training?
I'll do some fitness, yeah, sure.
Okay, so it costs you 25 gold pieces to gain a fitness training die, but then you can spend it just like Shannon can, except yours is strength, dexterity, or constitution.
Right.
Cool.
Gotcha.
So remember those because they're quite nice. Okay, great. So yeah, also the blacksmith, Langus, and Spec Person the Third, I think, upgraded the blacksmith, and now you can spend 40 gold pieces at a blacksmith to reforge a weapon within a category: simple weapon to simple weapon, martial weapon to martial weapon, range to range, and melee to melee. You can't reforge a ranged weapon to a melee weapon.
Right.
Now, what does reforging it do?
Well, like if you had a great sword and you wanted it to be a warhammer, done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, so good. Downtime taken care of. What did you want to do in your? Oh, yes, Bardrick.
No, I don't have the money for it, so never mind. I was gonna reforge my weird red and black shard thing, but I don't have the gold for it. I have to check into because I think we got a bunch of stuff at the very end of the last session, but I think I think one of the people like kept it all. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that seems likely. We'll have to be more aggressive about dividing loot at the end of the session. Anyhow, that's actually not a weapon, but you can use your blood shard to basically imbue magical attributes into weapons and armor. But we're gonna have to figure out exactly how that needs to work.
Okay.
So, cool. But it will be more expensive than 40 gold pieces. So just to warn you. Maybe at the end of this episode, you'll have enough. All right, so so we were taking a day, and Kellen, you were going to go speak with someone about the concerns within your heart.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about that.
So I just want to know how the relationship with Elisalt, the priestess of the temple that I fell in love with, has been going over the past few. How long has it been? Did you ever figure that out?
It's been like 2 months.
2 months.
Now,
Okay.
I'm saying that it's the 1st of November. So let's see.
Cool.
Who do I need to mark down here? And then why don't you roll a charisma check, and then we'll sort of like, if you get like 15 plus, then things are going super great. 6 to 14, things are just fine. They're normal. And if you get like a 5 or minus, then things have gone poorly. It's not necessarily the end of things, but
Right.
Yeah.
But you realize charisma is like my lowest score, of course.
Well,
it's a 9.
Romance
It's not horrid, but
romance has always been a challenge for Kellen.
yeah, people have been a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Come on. Romance, baby. Woo!
17. Look at that. Things have been going really well with you and Ellen.
Yes, that's
Why don't-
great.
Why don't you tell us what's been going on? Have you moved in together? Like, is there a formal declaration of your love, or have you met her parents?
I think since it's my first real relationship with anybody, I think it's going to be slow going.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's going to be me awkwardly figuring out what to if I want to give her gifts or whatever. I probably give her I probably go to the some shopkeeper in town and buy a perfume that's just fucking terrible. And I give it to her and she's like, "Oh, this is really sweet." Never wears it. Cuz it probably smells like fucking swamp or something. Something that I like.
Yeah. So maybe you had your first kiss in the last 2 months, and that was the the dramatic, things are going really well.
Yep. And I think there was I'm saying there was an awkward moment where I was in the temple and I was looking to find her and I accidentally spied her walked in on her changing clothes and I was like ah!
Yeah.
And then but she didn't turn away, so it was all good. Kind of a thing.
It was like a very made RPG kind of moment.
Yes, exactly. So it's going well. I think if it keeps going this way, in the next couple of months, I see us maybe moving in together, whatever.
Cool.
But now that we have that settled, I want to go to Elith and ask her about resurrection.
Okay. Yeah. So you head to the Temple of the Border Wall.
Yeah.
And do you just step in, or did you bring a present for her, or how are you approaching this?
Well, this is all new, so all new information. So I'm just going to walk in and
cool.
see if she's in there working or whatever.
Yeah, I think she's probably she's got a smudge stick, which is a bundle of herbs that she's lit on fire, and she's waving in the air over the altar to cleanse it and purify.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Elle?
She puts the smudge stick down and wipes her hands on the front of her blouse and turns around and says, "Kellen, hi."
Hello. You look beautiful today.
She blushes.
I have something I want to talk to you about. You remember my halfling friend Bardrick? You remember Bardrick, right?
Yes.
I think I
remember
her
Bardrick. I've told you I'm not sure about her. She seems a little uncouth.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to ask you about. What are your thoughts on bringing someone who is good, who is a good person, who is, nice and well, sort of nice, but bringing them back from the dead.
Yeah, her eyebrows raise, and she grabs your hands and she leads you to a pew and she sits down next to you and she says, "Raising someone from the dead? Well, that's very serious. It's not inherently forbidden, but the wall between life and death is strong and built of many stones."
And that's exactly what I said. It goes against the nature of things. But this person, well, Bardrick is a friend, and she is very adamant about bringing this person back. And I want to help. I want to be a good friend. But I wanted to seek your counsel to see if that was... I guess I wanted you to convince me that it was okay.
Unfortunately, Kellen, I am not the one who makes the rules in this matter. I'm not the one whose permission you need, but why don't we pray to Rona, and we will see what she has to say.
Okay.
Yeah. So, she goes and gets a bowl and fills it with water, and she brings it out and she sets it in front of you, and she takes out a small pouch of herbs and she sprinkles a few of them onto the bowl, and the water inside just turns black, like inky black. And she says, "Here, Kellen, close your eyes." Do you?
Oh, yeah. I'm closing my eyes.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, you hear a splash as of her hands entering the water, and then you feel her cool, wet hands press on your eyes, on your eyelids, and then she says, "Open your eyes, Kellen."
Open.
Do you?
Yep.
Yeah. You can't see a thing. It's just pitch blackness. It's as if you didn't even open them. And then you hear this sort of roaring and rushing sound in your ears. Why don't you roll a religion check for me?
Okie dokie.
Okay, 13. Not too bad. The roaring sound grows louder and louder until there's sort of a crescendo, and you hear a crash, and the blackness shatters, and you're sitting inside of a small hut. And there's a woman with her back turned to you. She's got a thick braid of black hair down the center of her back. She's just wearing, rough spun clothes, and she's in front of a cook fire, and she's stirring a large cauldron of stuff. And you see her. Yeah, like if you try to act or if you try to speak or anything, it feels almost like you're paralyzed or you're struck dumb. Your muscles aren't cooperating, your mouth isn't moving, you're just sort of sitting there.
Okay.
And you see her, and the smoke from the fire is actually billowing down into the fire, and you see her plunge her hands into this pot and start bringing up chunks from the inside of this cook pot, and she places them on a cutting board to your right. And it's rabbit, actually, that she's bringing out of the pot, but it doesn't look cooked. And you see her bring out until finally she's brought out, the two hind legs, the two forelegs, the haunches. And then she sets them on this cookboard. She comes over to the cookboard and she reaches up, and you see a skin hanging there from the rafters. And she brings it down and she wraps it around the chunks of meat. And then she takes a cleaver and she slams it down into the cutting board. And when she lifts it up, the meat just kind of goes, and it just sticks back together as she's cleaving this rabbit in two. And then she turns to you. And now is the first time you can see her face clearly because her hair has been sort of in the way. And her eyes burn with the fires of 1,000 suns. And she reaches out to you, and you can feel her hand reach into your chest. And you hear this tearing sound that sounds louder than anything you've ever heard as her hand clutches your heart and pulls it straight out of your chest. You see it beating in her hand. And she looks at you and she has a very calm look on her face, and a single tear rolls down her cheek. And then she turns back to this rabbit and she gently opens its chest and places your heart in it. And as your vision fades, you see the back legs of this creature start running in place. And then you wake up, you're lying on the floor.
Oh. Do you have visions like this all the time? That was terrifying.
She looks at you very concerned. She says, "Kellen, you're back. Are you well? What happened?"
I know what I have to do.
So it was helpful, our prayer.
Yes, it was.
All right.
I'm going to help Bardrick.
That's wonderful. I'm glad Rona spoke to you. And she smiles brightly.
Okay. Well, first, I need to get prepared. I need to get prepared for this. Oh. Whoa, I feel energized. I feel really good. Thank you. And I kiss her and I'm out.
Cool. I think that's a good place for our first break. So when we come back, we can do some preparation. We can officially take the quest and get on our way. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in like 5 minutes, and we'll continue with more West Marches.